What's good? It's Jordan. Today I'll be talking to you about the illusion of perfection. See, in this modern time period, in this modern society, what we fail to understand and realize is that we're all flawed individuals. See, with the advent of social media, platforms and publications, validation from these sectors, we may feel like we're above other people. We may feel like we're above other people due to the fact of the matter of our looks, our image, our finances, our fame, our fortune, our notoriety. But we have to understand we're still flawed individuals. God knows this, but we have to know these things. You know, many times people in society get away with unscrupulous things because others may see those individuals as perfect people. Others may want to build their own business model behind these people, not understanding and knowing that these people are flawed individuals and not knowing that we all are flawed individuals. We have to understand that nobody is perfect. We will all make mistakes. We will all face situations that we may not know how to deal with, that we may encounter. But at the end of the day, we are all human. God knows this, but we fail to realize this because we may have this godlike complex of feeling like we're above everything, when in reality, we're not. We have to understand this, and when we understand this, we can conduct ourselves in a more suitable way for ourselves in order for us to be the people that God wants us to be. See, we cannot be the people God wants us to be if we feel that we're perfect, if we feel that we never make mistakes, if we feel that we're above everything. When we feel that we're above everything, that is our ego trying to take a hold of us. We have to understand how to keep our ego in check, because if we don't keep our ego in check, we may destroy ourselves, we may destroy our relationship with God, we may destroy our relationship with people, and essentially ruin our own livelihoods. We have to understand that, yes, we may be flawed individuals, but we still can be confident individuals. And when you're a confident individual, you don't have to be an egotistical person, a outright boastful individual, a cocky individual, somebody that has to constantly show themselves in a way that is proving to other people that they're actually better than other people. But, you know, you just live your life with grace and confidence and know that, you know, you're able to actually grow and you're able to actually make a change in your life. And through that growth and that change, it makes you confident, and, you know, you walk with a sense of freedom and faith, knowing that you're able to actually overcome the situations in your own personal life. You know, when you're confident, you walk with your head held high, great posture, and when you deal with other people, you may speak confidently about yourself and may actually speak confidently about other people. You're not afraid of actually, you know, giving people grace in a way where you're actually, you know, thanking people and praising people in a way for their own growth and their own achievements in this life. You know, somebody who is an individual that pays homage, so to speak, you know, isn't afraid of actually telling people that they're inspired by them, you know, actually being grateful for having people around them, being an individual that is just openly caring. You know, that's confidence to me, you know. But I realize that, you know, many people want to walk in this egotistical format because it's seen as a cool thing to do. Many times people just want to feel validated. People want to feel included in society. People want to feel as though the people around them look at them as a status symbol. And we have to understand where that stems from. You know, we have to understand how we can change our lives in a way where we understand that, you know, we can be confident individuals, but not individuals that are vanity worshipers, not individuals that are people that look at themselves as better than other people, because we may be doing good in one sector and we may be failing in another sector. Somebody else may be doing good in another sector, but they may be failing in another sector. Everyone has their own unique life. And I say this time and time again because God made us all unique. But if we follow behind one base model and one base perspective in society, are we really following God, or are we following the world? We have to focus on what we're following. We have to focus on these things, because when you tend to cater to the world more than catering to God, we fall behind the guise of not understanding that when we're following the world is flawed. We have a flawed perspective. But when we're following God, the perspective that we may have may not be flawed. And just actually looking at the differences of when we actually follow the world and follow what society tells you to do, as opposed to following God. When you follow what society tells you to do, there's always going to be issues and errors in what may occur and what may happen in following society more than following God. And when our base model is following God, we can never fail. God lays down specific rules and principles that we must follow. And if we don't follow it, and if we don't go by what God is telling us to do, then at the end of the day, we're not going to get far. And we have to understand that the road less traveled is the best road to take. And we have to understand that through it all, we are all flawed individuals. We're going to have good days and we're going to have bad days. We have to understand this and live knowing that, yes, we may be flawed individuals, but that does not stop us from greatness. That does not stop us from actually seeking the approval of God. Because sometimes we may look at it as we're flawed individuals and, we may not deserve God's grace because we feel that we cannot overcome our own situations. But God does not want us to feel like that. God knows the world is fallen. God knows that things are going on in this world that are not good. And in reality, when we know that God knows all of these things and God is actually handling these things, we shouldn't be fearful, but we should be walking in faith and knowing that God has everything covered. Even in our personal lives, in relationships, social settings. Many times people forget that they're flawed themselves and they may speak negatively on other people, trying to make themselves look as if they're better than others. That doesn't help either, because when you look at other people and you try to laugh at other people, try to talk about other people, know that there's somebody that's laughing and talking about you too. So it's best that we understand that in all, we're not perfect and everybody has their own situations, and don't try to chastise somebody else based on their situation if you don't like being chastised yourself. Because the thing is, with people in the society, they're able to dish out things that are negative, but when they receive the negative feedback back to them, they're not able to handle that. So if you're not able to handle negative feedback back to you, don't bother other people. Don't talk about other people. Stay in your lane. Stay focused on what you need to do and what you need to handle in your own situation. And essentially, don't get into other people's business. When you get into other people's business and your business is not handled, your business is not taken care of, you essentially aren't placed in the proper light, so to speak. So focus on yourself, focus on what you need to overcome, and focus on what you need to do in your own personal life. Because we all have things that we need to overcome in our own personal life and things that we have to break, barriers that are needed to be broken in order for us to elevate ourselves and move forward. And it's best that we pay attention to what we say. You know, sometimes we may speak negatively on other people and their situations, and then we end up in the situations that they may have had. So it's best that we stay focused and understand that we have to control our tongue, control what we say, and actually apply the statement, if you have nothing good to say, don't say anything at all. I think that helps a lot, and I think that helps us develop further if we focus on just our own business. So today, I'll be reading these scriptures to you, and I hope that these scriptures help us in our own personal life. James 3:2. For we all stumble in many ways, and if anyone does not stumble in what he says, he is a perfect man, also to bridle his whole body. Ecclesiastes 7:20. Surely there is not a righteous man on earth who does good and never sins. We have to understand, in this life today, we will all make mistakes. Don't dwell on the mistakes you make. If you know that yesterday was a day that you weren't able to overcome the battle, know that it is a fresh day today where you're able to overcome. Some days you may fall off, some days you may feel weak, some days you may feel like you can't fight. But the good thing about it, what we must understand is God provides us another day to make change, another day to be strong, another day to actually focus on what we need to develop into and what we need to grow past from. Don't dwell on the past. Some may try to hold the past against you, but we live in the present, and you only could change what is in the present. And that present that you change will lead to more of a more welcoming future for yourself, the ones around you, for people who interact with you. And know and understand that it starts with yourself first. If you're able to identify your flaws and you're able to defeat your flaws, when you go into society dealing with other people, you know how to deal with other people in a positive way. If we all are able to conduct ourselves and know that we're able to work past our flaws and work past insecurities that we weren't able to work past, understand that we are leaning more towards the path that God wants us to be on. Every day is a constant battle, and we have the ability to overcome every situation that we encounter and go through in this life today. I want to thank you for watching, and I hope that in your own personal life that you understand that you have the ability to break free from any strongholds that's placed on your life from the enemy. God protects, God sees, God knows, and God has our best interests at heart. I want to thank you for watching today. Peace.